Hello students, good morning once again. I welcome all of you in this part 2 of the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. We have studied in the first part the scope of the chapter, where we have seen that what articles we are going to study in this chapter. So let us start with the introduction of the chapter. Let me give first introduction about the concept that we are going to see today, that is nothing but the force. In the previous chapter, we have seen what is called as the motion, and while discussing the motion, we have seen the different concepts related with the motion, that is what is called as the distance, what is called as displacement, what is called as speed, and what is called as velocity. We have also seen the acceleration, and at last we have seen about the uniform circular motion. Now, in the previous chapter, all those concepts that we have seen in motion, you must have observed that we have not focused about, or we have not interested about what causes this particular motion. So, in previous chapter, cause behind the motion, we have not considered. That means there was no any term which is related with what was the cause behind the motion. But now in this chapter, this cause is important, because in this chapter what the motion, because of the cause that we are trying to understand in this chapter. So we have seen the concept of acceleration, and while discussing the concept of acceleration, we have seen that acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity, but we have not considered about the cause behind that particular velocity, what actually the reason behind when our object is in motion, when the object is in moving from one point to another point. Now in this chapter, the cause we are going to consider, and this cause is nothing but the force. Now you must have seen that many times this example has been given to you, that if you are sitting under the tree and the fruit falls from that tree on the ground, what leads that the fruit will come on the surface of the earth, because some cause is necessary with the help of which that fruit is coming on the surface of the earth. That cause at that moment is nothing but the gravitational force. The gravity of the earth attracts that particular fruit on the surface of the earth. So this particular gravitational force which is exerted by the earth on that particular fruit, because of which the fruit comes towards the ground, toward the surface of the earth, that is nothing but what is called as the cause behind that motion. But if you observe carefully, that when the fruit falls from the tree, or any object which is falling toward the surface of the earth, it is accelerated. That means speed of that, or the velocity of that object, goes on increasing when it reaches towards the surface of the earth. That means a cause is necessary for that acceleration. So we can write here that for acceleration, when an object is moving, that acceleration, cause is necessary. Cause is there. This cause is nothing but the force with which that object is in motion. So now this force, in terms of the example that we have seen about the fruit which is falling from the tree, this force is nothing but a gravitational force. So this force is nothing but a gravitational force which is exerted by the earth on that particular object, that particular fruit. So here in this chapter, when we are going to discuss about the force, that force is nothing but the cause behind the motion. So that's why the cause is very, very important for the motion of the object, and the force is nothing but the cause behind the motion. So here we will study about the definition of the force first. So definitely we are interested in finding out the definition of the force. So what is the definition of the force? Before discussing the definition of the force, let me put forward some examples before you, so that you can easily understand how exactly we can define the force while considering those examples over here. So suppose if you are pulling the drawer from the table, you are pulling it outside. That means you are doing some activity, you are doing some action, and and with the help of that action, that drawer is being operated with your hands. Suppose if you are closing that drawer, that means you are doing some activity by pushing that drawer inside, so that drawer will be again closed. Suppose you want to lift some bag, then you are lifting that bag with your hands. Suppose if you are kicking the football, if you are paddling the bicycle, all that activities consisting of some type of action, and this action is from one body, let's imagine body A, to the body B. So this action which we are giving in terms of one body onto the another body, this is nothing but any kind of, either it will be a push or it will be a pull. So suppose if you are opening the drawer, that means you are pulling it outside. Suppose if you are closing the drawer, that means you are pushing it inside. Suppose if you are paddling the bicycle, that means you are pushing the paddle in such a way that the bicycle will move. Suppose if you are kicking the football, that means you are kicking it with the help of your leg, that means you are pushing it. So all those activities will be from one body to the another body. With your hand, you are doing some activity on the drawer. With your leg, you are doing some activity on the football. With your leg, you are doing some activity on the pedal of the bicycle. So all these activities either consisting of the push or pull. So with the help of this activity that we are doing from one body to the another body, necessarily it will be consisting of either in terms of push or pull. So definition of the force is nothing but it is action of one body on another body. So we can write here as this force we can define as any push or pull by the body is called as the force. In general words, we can say that this force is nothing but some activity, which is actually the exact definition of the force is any push or pull by the body. But when you are doing some activity from one body to the other body, that is also called as the force. So what examples we can consider? Just now I have given the examples. These examples are nothing but when we are, say suppose you are lifting some bag, suppose if you are pushing some table, suppose if you are driving the bicycle, suppose if you are kicking the football, if you are hitting the ball with the help of bat, if you are hitting the ball with the help of hockey stick, all those examples are nothing but the definition of the force. Now one more interesting thing is that force has the direction. This is also one important thing. That one point which is related with the force is nothing but force is having a direction. So when a force, any push or pull which is given to the body, since it has the direction, that's why force is a vector quantity. Now when we say that a quantity is a vector quantity, definitely that quantity is nothing but having a magnitude as well as direction. So in these examples also we have considered that whatever the push or pull given to the body, that push and pull given to the body by one body onto the another body, definitely that has the direction. So force has the sense of direction. Since it has a sense of direction, having a direction, that's why it is a vector quantity. Okay, so this is nothing but the definition of the force. Now we have to understand here first what are the effects of the force, because we have studied we have seen in terms of the scope of the chapter, what is the syllabus. There we have seen that what are the effects of the force, because since force is an activity which is performed by one body onto the other body, that's why this force necessarily has some effect on the body. What those effects? Let's try to understand what are the effects. So I will write here as the main heading, effects of a force. Now just now we have seen the examples. Suppose a table is there in your room, and suppose if you are pushing that table, that means previously the table is at rest, previously the table is at a fixed point, but when you are pushing that table by application of the force, that table moves from one point to another point. Suppose a cupboard is there, if you want to move that cupboard, suppose a chair is there in your room, if you want to move that chair from one place to another place, actually you have to apply the force. That means the first effect is nothing but with the application of the force, the body or an object, we can call this a body or an object, can be moved from rest. So any body which is at rest position, which is fixed at one point, suppose, then with the help of application of the force, we can move that object. That means the movement of the body from rest, it is possible with the help of application of the force. Now what is the example? Example is nothing but, say suppose, pushing of a table. When you are pushing a table which is at rest, that means you are applying the force. And with the help of application of the force, the body which is at rest, you can move. So first application of the force is nothing but the body which is at rest, the body can be moved. Let us consider with the help of application of the force, the second effect is nothing but the body, suppose it is in motion, you can stop the movement of that particular object. So second effect is nothing but you can, with the help of force, we can stop the object. So with the help of application of the force, sometimes the object which is in already motion, we can stop that object. Suppose if you are playing football and your friend kicks the football towards you, what you used to do, you stop that particular football. In order to stop that football, you actually stop it by application of the force. Okay, suppose a hockey player, when they used to play the hockey, when one player used to hit the ball with the help of hockey, then another player used to stop it. But while stopping that with the help of hockey, actually the ball which is already in motion, with the help of application of the force which is being applied by the leg in terms of football, or which is applied in terms of the hockey stick on that ball, actually you are stopping that object. So the object which is already in motion, with the help of application of the force, you can stop that particular object. Third application is nothing but with the help of application of the force, you can change the direction of the object. So with the help of application of the force, you can change the direction of the object also, because when you are changing the direction of the object, necessarily it is with the help of application of force, it can be possible. So with the help of application of the force, the direction of the object can be changed. Suppose if you are playing the carom, then you used to hit the different goats over there with the help of striker. The moment you have to hit that particular goat with the help of striker, you apply the force with the help of striker. The moment striker hits that particular goat, the direction of the goat changes over here. Sometimes with the help of application of the force, there is change in shape of the object, or sometimes there is change in size of the object also. You very well know about the spring action. The spring, you know, when the spring or a sponge-like substance, if you are having in your hand, suppose if you are expanding that spring, or if suppose you are compressing that spring, when you apply the force on that spring, the shape of that or size of that particular object or that particular spring changes. Suppose if you want to take out the toothpaste from your toothpaste tube, then you squeeze it. The moment you squeeze it, the shape of that particular toothpaste tube going to be changed. So because of the applications of the force, you can have the different applications, the different effects happens with the help of application of the force. That is nothing but sometimes the object which is at rest, it can be moved. That means the object which is at rest can be moved with the help of application of the force. Sometimes with the application of the force, the body which is already in motion, the body can be stopped. So with the help of application of the force, if effect of the force is nothing but the object can be stopped. Sometimes the direction of the object which is already in motion can also be changed with the help of application of the force. The effect of the force is nothing, but sometimes it changes direction. Sometimes it changes the shape or size of the object also. So different examples we have considered, and the effects of the force also we have considered with the help of these examples. This is nothing but the effects of the force, definition of the force. With the help of definition we have understood what is called as the definition of the force. With the help of effects of the force, we understood that what effects happens when a force is applied on the body. In the next lecture, we are going to study about what are the different types of the forces. Thank you.